Hey everybody, how's it going today? Thanks for tuning in to the AM channel. My name is Alex, and today's video is actually my very first Storytime video. This is a type of video I've always wanted to try out, something I've been thinking about for a while and talking about with my friends a little bit. So I thought I'd just put my money where my mouth is and fucking do it, why not? I'm not currently home at the moment. I'm at a buddy's house, so I don't have access to my PlayStation. But I did bring my gaming PC with me, so I can play all my old Steam games from a while ago. Today's gameplay is some Call of Duty World at War Nazi Zombies. It's the classic Derice map. I know many of you are already familiar with this map, especially since it's been remastered in Black Ops 3. So I hope you like it and let me know if you do or don't. And I'm going to be kicking off my first video with a story that me and my friends all love to bring up with each other, especially when we're chilling, especially when we're smoking on some herb. So this story takes place back in mid 2018, like June or July, I believe. It was the summer of 2018. That's all I know. And this was back during my skate park days. I used to skateboard a good amount. Like I was decent at it, I could ride the board pretty well. I could kick turn. I eventually got the ollie down, and I can give you a pop shove it once in a while, but that was about it. If you asked me to do anything else, I would totally fucking flop. But I had some friends who were really damn good, like could go pro if they wanted. But anyway, the story starts at the skate park in the downtown area where I live. It's a pretty casual day for us. I was a senior in high school at the time, so my biggest focus was just graduating, getting my diploma. You know how that is. I had a part-time job at the time. I was working at Subway, and this was actually my very first job ever. I got a few good stories about that place that I'm gonna save for later videos, but all my friends in my clique at the time were a little older than me, like by at least 2 years. I was the young bull of the group, or at least that's what they called me. So we're just doing our typical routine. Chilling, smoking, passing something we rolled around, taking bong rips if someone brought glass that day. It was that kind of place. And at the time, it was me, my best friend, let's call him Kyle, and my two good friends, we'll say Seth and Cody. And after a few hours of being there, just doing our thing, Seth, who was our ride at the time, because a little backstory for you guys, they stayed the night at my place the night before. We had plans to go to the skate park the day after. So we all just hopped into Seth's car that day when we went to the park. And he had to go now. I honestly forget what the reason was, but it's probably to get some tang or something. That's besides the point. But the problem was me and Kyle, we still wanted to stay. And I was 18 at the time. Kyle was about 20, and us being young, not having the best planning skills, we just said, "Oh, that's cool, man. You go right ahead. Do what you got to do, bro. We'll get someone to give us a ride home when we need it. We'll call someone, we'll ask someone here." Because it was the kind of place where everyone sort of knew each other. Like, even if you didn't personally know that person, you've probably at least skated with them, smoked with them, like at least talked to them before. So it was about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and that was when he left. Seth dabs us up, and Cody too, because Cody decided to tag along with him, since he was our ride at the time, and that was a smart thing to do. Shout out to Cody for having that common sense that we didn't have as kids. So we dab him up, wish him well, thanks for coming out, bro, all that stuff. And me and Kyle, we continue on with our day, doing our usual routine. Starts getting to the point where it's getting a little late. The park was gonna shut the lights off in about an hour, which was 10 p.m. So it was a little after 9 at this point, and we still didn't secure a ride home yet. We had been casually asking a few people every hour or so, but we never got a yes, and time kind of got away from us, so we're starting to panic a little bit. A little background for you guys: this park, it's not in the safest area where I live, and it was also roughly 11 miles away from either me or Kyle's house. So walking home in the dark through this place was definitely not ideal. especially with us being young at the time. Like, we weren't old enough to have a concealed carry or anything like that. We didn't have protection on us either, which was also stupid. But hey, you live and you learn. Everybody was young once, you know. So we're starting to lower our standards a little bit. Meaning we're starting to ask people we didn't truly know for a ride. Okay, not like complete strangers. Okay, you should never ever do that. That would be really fucking stupid. Yeah, we were not running around asking strangers for a ride home. When I say truly, like didn't truly know them, I meant like acquaintances, like those people you haven't really hung out with except for that certain place. Like when you were in high school and you had friends that you only saw or talked to at school, it was that kind of thing. We were starting to ask people who we didn't hang out with except for besides at the skate park. And again, we're getting sorry, bro, got no time for that, that kind of shit. And I don't blame them, we were broke kids at the time. We couldn't really compensate them for a ride. You know what they say, it's cash, grass, or ass. No one rides for free. We had no cash on us being broke kids, and sure as shit weren't willing to give anyone no ass just for a fucking ride home. Not willing to do that in general anyway. So the only thing we could offer in return was free smoke. And most kids, especially around this area, they'd be more than happy to take that up as compensation. But this was not one of those days. This was a day where everyone had been smoking all day long, sharing it with each other. Like anyone who was smoking or wanted to smoke already did or already had a bag. So this was just not working for us. Once again, starting to panic a little bit, all that stuff. And after a while, finally, just by some miracle, by God's good grace, we have one of our skate park acquaintances come back to us who we asked a little earlier, and he said, "Yo, guys, I asked my boy, we'll call this dude Steven, okay? I asked my boy Steven if he was down to give you a ride, and he said, yeah." So we are happy as fuck, like just huge wave of joy and relief just washes right over us. We are relieved as fuck, dude. We don't have to walk 11 miles home through this rough part of town all by ourselves. And we're just like, oh fuck, thank you, bro, thank you. So we approach Steven and we thank him too, and we start talking to him a little bit, trying to get to know him, because we've actually never really met this dude before. We've seen him at the park before, but this was our first time actually talking to him, right? And he seemed pretty chill for the most part. We had one of our mutual acquaintances that we both trusted vouch for him, so as far as we're concerned, we're good to go. We skated a little bit with him. It's about 20 minutes or so at that point until the lights in the park are about to shut off. So we skate that 20 minutes or so, and lights go off. We tag up with Steven, we grab our shit, pack up, and we start heading down to the parking lot. We get in this car, and we start making our way back to Kyle's parents' house. Now, the ride and everything was cool and normal, right? Like, this isn't one of those, oh, got a weird ride from a stranger stories. The ride was totally cool. It's when we get back to Kyle's parents' house that things start to get a little bit interesting, okay? But anyway, during the ride, we're just chilling, talking to him, giving him directions, that sort of thing. We start going on about how grateful we are to him for this ride, like explaining our situation a little bit. And he just kind of chuckled and was like, "Oh yeah, I've been there before, bro." So it was roughly a 15-minute car ride, and we finally get back to Kyle's parents' house. Now, when he drops us off, Kyle and I decide to invite him in for a smoke sesh to thank him for that ride. So we ask him if he smokes, and the dude responds, "Maybe." Like, what? Uh, that's by far the strangest response I've ever heard in my entire life when I've asked someone the question whether or not they smoke weed. Like most of the time it's, "Oh yeah, bro, I smoke," or "Yeah, I do, but not as much anymore," or "No, I'm trying to quit." Right? Like who the hell answers maybe? Like that's definitely a first. In hindsight, that should have been the first red flag that we really shouldn't be smoking this dude up right now. The title of this video is called Worst Green Out I've Ever Seen for a reason. So let me just keep telling the story so that you guys know why. So when he answers maybe, me and Kyle just kind of give each other this weird look and we're like, well, shit, all right, bro. Why don't you come in and give a bong rip a try? And he goes, all right, bet. So me and Kyle are thinking, okay, this dude's definitely smoked before. Like maybe when he said maybe, that meant he doesn't smoke hard, like he doesn't smoke every day, sort of thing, and that's totally cool. So we're in his garage. We pull out a bong, we fill it with water, pack it up, all that shit. And Kyle takes his hit first. Now me and my clique at the time, we were smoking pretty hard. I can probably run through an ounce every 2 weeks just by myself. Um, Kyle was worse than me a little bit, like he would smoke way more. So we were smoking pretty heavy at this point. Kyle takes his hit, he packs me one, I take mine, and now it's Steven's turn to smoke. Now during my hit, Steven asked to use the restroom, and Kyle showed him where it is. So Kyle came back into the room as I was finishing up my hit and we start talking a little bit about how it was weird that he answered maybe to our question back there and what did he mean by that kind of thing. So when he comes back, we start talking to him about weed again. We start getting a little more specific with the questions this time. We started with when was the last time you smoked, which he said a little bit ago. We asked him if he's hit a bong before, and he goes, "Yeah, it's just been a while." That kind of thing. He was being really in the middle about whether or not like he enjoys smoking. You know what I mean? The answers were very hot or cold. We couldn't really get a feel for it. So Kyle just finally asked the question we're all thinking here. Do you want to smoke right now, bro? Like you don't have to if you don't want to. This is just the only way we can think of right now to pay you back for that ride home. And he goes, oh yeah, dude, I'm totally down to smoke. I just wasn't planning on doing it today, so I just need to get my body ready to get high. You know what I mean? And we're just like, okay. Which again, in hindsight, that should have been the second red flag that we shouldn't be smoking this guy up. I guess the answer wasn't totally weird. Like, there's plenty of times where I've held off on smoking because I had things to do or I just wasn't in the mood to get baked at that particular moment. So I guess we could kind of understand where he was coming from, but let me tell you guys right now, we understood exactly what the fuck he meant as soon as he took his hit. So after he says that, we're just kind of like, oh, okay, word. And we just go silent a little. Like he finally takes his hit after we go silent. And keep in mind, we packed him a pretty small hit. We didn't give him a massive whomper like we give ourselves here because he was being so damn vague about his tolerance level, whether or not he liked to smoke, that kind of thing. So this dude takes his little snapper and this guy starts fucking dying. Okay, like coughing up both his lungs, not just a lung. This dude's face was beet red, coughing hard as fuck, like tearing up, drooling, all the usual stuff a stoner can deal with when they take a hit that's way too big for them, but times three, okay? Like, this dude was dying, long story short. And once he calms down a little bit, after about 10 full minutes of coughing, we start asking him if he's okay. And he's not really responding, right? I mean, he was just coughing like hard as fuck for a good 10 minutes, so we kind of just let him breathe a little bit, gave him some time to answer, and but like he wasn't even nodding his head, he wasn't even giving us a thumbs up, like nothing to let us know whether or not he was okay. Uh, so Kyle goes inside quick, grabs him a water out of the fridge. I start patting him on the back, like, dude, that was a mad rip, nice one, that sort of thing, just trying to make the guy feel better. Because even though he wasn't saying it, you can kind of tell from the look on his face that that hit was a little too much for him. Like, it definitely got him, so we're just trying to calm him down, that kind of thing. And he's just sitting there on his stool we brought out for him. You know, like those computer stools that like have the wheels and they rotate, but there's no back to them, right? We brought one of those out for him to sit on, 'cause we were in the garage at the time, so there weren't really any seats in there. And he's just sitting there staring at the back of the garage wall, like not responding to a damn thing me or Kyle are saying to him. So, like, we're just completely clueless. We have no idea what to do. Like, we're a little stoned ourselves and we took some fatty hits, but we smoke all the fucking time, so we're still in our right minds. So we just keep looking back and forth at each other, looking back at him, asking basic questions. Are you okay? Do you want something to eat? Do you want to go inside and sit on the couch or something, dude? And this dude is not saying anything. Like, me and him are starting to like get a little unnerved here, right? And all of a sudden, just out of fucking nowhere, dude, this guy starts projectile vomiting all over the fucking garage. Like, I'm not talking a little flow of vomit out of the mouth like a normal vomit. I'm talking like this shit shot out of his fucking mouth, and it made the nastiest fucking noise when it did too, bro. I still remember how it sounded. Okay, so this shit just shot out of his mouth all over the garage, and it wasn't a one and done type thing. It was like again and again and again, bro. It got on the desk where the bong was. It got all over the garage floor. It got a little bit on Kyle too, because unfortunately he was in the blast radius. But yeah, this guy, he greens out all over the goddamn place. Like, after he's done puking, he just puts his head down on the shelf, and while he's still sitting there, he just goes silent again, and Kyle runs in, grabs some shit from the kitchen to clean up the vomit with, and he's a little pissed. He's like, dude, you gotta aim for the trash can. Like, if you're sick, you need to say something, that kind of thing. And I don't blame him. Like, he just got puked on. Anyone would be a little pissed off if they got puked on, you know? Like, and Steven just is still not responding, head down on the desk. He's like, kind of doing that, like that sick moan, groan type thing. You know what I'm talking about? And his head's down between his arms on the desk. So me and Kyle, we just started cleaning. We just couldn't leave that shit there, you know. It was all over his parents' garage floor. They'd be fucking mad as hell if they woke up and saw strangers puke all over their floor. I mean, anyone would, you know. And once we finish up, uh, after we're done cleaning, we were just letting him sit there while we were cleaning to let him feel better a little bit. And we're like, yo, are you okay, dude? And he finally perks his head up and he mumbles really low, like, I want to go home, like that kind of thing. And we're like, okay, that's cool, you know, but are you good enough to drive right now? Like, are you feeling well enough to drive? Like, you're sick, you're puking, like, are you sure that's a good idea? And he's like, I just need to go home, I just need to go home, that kind of thing. Like, he's mumbling it, you know what I mean? And me and Kyle, we don't really know what to do here. We don't really want to let this guy leave. He's not in the shape to be driving, but at the same time, we really weren't expecting this to happen. Like, we really couldn't just have this guy stay the night here. Kyle's parents were the type of people who weren't okay with someone they didn't know staying the night at their residence, which I totally understand that. But we were kind of at a fork in the road. We had no idea what to do. And the guy gets up, he starts walking to his car, and me and Kyle are like, no, 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 you know, like just trying to stop him because we really weren't okay letting this guy drive with him not being in the right mindset at the time. But the guy opens the car, he sits down, and Kyle grabs like the dude's driver's side door. And we're just standing there talking to him like, bro, you really shouldn't be driving. Like, you could chill here a while. Unfortunately, you can't stay the night, but we're totally down for you to stay here and like until you're feeling better. And once again, the dude just is kind of mumbling, not saying anything, and just kind of goes unresponsive again. Like, he's not unconscious or anything. He's just not answering. I don't know if it's because he was too sick or just didn't want to, or just not in the right headspace, whatever the reason. And but he's just mumbling, I'm cool, and that kind of thing. And once again, me and Kyle are just fucking like confounded, man. We have no idea what to fucking do here. But luckily, as we're just standing there thinking, what the fuck do we do right now? This dude just sitting there goes unresponsive for a while, and we start hearing like a little that kind of thing. And we look over at him, and the dude fell asleep, bro. This dude fell asleep in his driver's seat, fucking arms folded, head back, not saying a damn thing, dude. He fell asleep. Oh, it was fucking hilarious, bro. Me and Kyle, we started dying. We had no fucking idea this dude was about to just pass the fuck out right then and there. Honestly, though, I was very lucky that happened because it solved the issue. Like, this dude wasn't sleeping in the house, so we'd get in trouble. He wasn't driving on the road either, so he wasn't, uh, you know, a danger to himself or other people on the road. So that that was perfect, man. Like the dude just fucking fell asleep after that. He puked everywhere, then fell asleep. Like me and Kyle, we just put our hands over our mouths, fucking start laughing, trying not to wake him up. Uh, we kind of like closed the door, but not all the way because we didn't want to wake him. So we just closed it, and we let him sleep in his car that's in the driveway. And we go back to the garage and we start smoking, laughing, just texting all our friends, Snapchatting them, telling them what happened. Cause like they all knew who this guy was from the park, so like it was a fucking good time, man. It was just laughs and chills from then on out. So me and Kyle are just in his parents' garage the whole time while this dude's in his car. We're just chilling, smoking. We got one of those little Bluetooth speakers set up for some music. And about a full 4 hours later, bro, like I'm not even joking, this dude passed out, stayed there in his car for like a full 4 hours at least. But he finally comes to, he wakes up, he walks into the garage, we see him come in. So we look at him, he looks at us, and he goes, "Yeah, guys, weed just doesn't really sit well with me." It, no shit, bro. Like we didn't say that to him, but we were definitely thinking it, or at least I was. But Kyle just looks at him and goes, "Next time, just say something, bro. Like this wasn't something you had to do. You can smoke if you want, or if you don't want, that's totally cool. This was just our way of paying you back for the ride home, like we were explaining earlier." And he goes, "Word, man, I hear you. I should have just been honest and spoken up, like told you weed isn't really my thing. I guess I was just nervous about coming off like a bitch, and I get where he's coming from. Like when you're young and you first start smoking, especially when it's in a community type area, there could be a little peer pressure involved with that sort of stuff. So basically, the reason this guy didn't speak up was he was worried me and Kyle were gonna like give him a hard time about not wanting to smoke. So once we explained that we're not really like that, he dabs us up, he leaves. We see him again at the skate park a few days later, and we talk to him. Like we start saying hi to him every time we go after this. We don't really chill with him that often outside of the park, but we definitely bring this story up quite often. This guy became an inside joke in our clique for a little bit. Like whenever someone was packing the bong or asked to smoke, we'd be like, "Yeah, bro, that's cool. Like, just don't pull the Steven now, you know?" It was like, it's one of those things. So that's why I wanted to tell this story, guys. That's gonna do it for today. This was my very first story time video, so please tell me what you thought of it. Tell me what you liked about it. Tell me what you didn't like. If you did like it, please subscribe, like the video, and go ahead and turn on those bell notifications. And my name is Alex, and thanks for tuning in to the AM channel. You can go ahead and tune out now. Peace.
Man, I've been working, said I'm the greatest. Now that I'm certain, Benzo the latest. Drunk and I'm swerving, I'm going ape shit on all of my verses. Fuck being famous, I'm here to fuck up your favorite. Lately I'm hearing too much of the same shit. Young and I'm faded, killing shit, bury it under my basement.